Our 2025 NFL Divisional Preview Series continues as I preview the NFC West today. That, of course, is the Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, and 49ers. Weird division last year with San Francisco having a bunch of injuries. They actually finished in last, 6-11. Rams won the division at 10-7. Seattle also with 10 wins, but not only didn't win the division, got squeezed out of the wild card. Cardinals were sitting there at 8-9. Feels like one of those wide open divisions again this year. Let's start with the Rams, as kind of feels like it could be one last ride for Matthew Stafford. He's kind of had this weird back thing going on, which is why I pushed off this division preview for a little bit, because even now, filming it, we don't really know what's going on. We know he received an epidural. It seems to be a day-to-day situation. It feels like it's going to linger throughout the season. If he's healthy, I think they're the favorite to win the division. But if not, I think these other teams are good enough where that could be the difference between the Rams winning the division and potentially finishing third or fourth. Now, LA does have a lot of offensive weapons. They paid Kyren Williams this offseason. They bring in Davante Adams to pair with Puka Nacua. They re-signed Tutu Atwell. I like Tyler Higbee at tight end. They also drafted Terrence Ferguson, who I know they're very high on at tight end as well. Pretty good offensive line, so the offense should be good. Obviously, Sean McVay calling the plays. Their defensive front is one of the best young units in the NFL. Jared Verse is a stud, a potential emerging superstar. Byron Young's a good player. Braden Fisk is really good in his own right. I'm a big Kobe Turner guy as well. My biggest question on the defense is, can the secondary hold up? I think they got some issues at corner, but if that front is getting a lot of pressure, then they should just be fine. And then the big question for this team, period, and really for any contender, if the quarterback has some kind of thing going on, injury or otherwise, is that going to be settled? Is Stafford going to be healthy this season? If he is, they're probably a double-digit win season. If it's one of those deals where he misses, I don't know, a month and a half or whatever, can Jimmy Garoppolo hold it down in time that he misses? Talking about Stafford, I don't know. I don't know what version of Jimmy Garoppolo exists in 2025. So I really do think this team in this division comes down to the health of Matthew Stafford. All right, guys, this is our fourth divisional preview series, which means we're going to be doing a lot of these this week to get these out before the full slate of games on Sunday. But I want to know, can we top the other divisions that we did? NFC North, we got 73 new subscribers on that video. Pretty good. AFC South, 21. AFC West bringing up the rear with just 8 new subscribers. Can we top 73 or at least top 21? Let's get at least second in terms of new subscribers. NFC West, rise up. We need more NFC West fans in here. Hit that subscribe button. Okay, Seattle. Is this team riding under the radar? I think they're one of those teams that feels like it's high variance. And the reality is when Sam Darnold's your quarterback, you're going to be a high variance team. You could win 11 or 12 games. You saw him win 14 with Minnesota last year. But what if he reverts to more of what he was early on in his career? He is not a complete unknown, because I think a full season of his body of work last year that you see on the right side of the screen was very, very impressive. But with the Jets, the Panthers, he was the 49ers backup for a year. I mean, he was pretty abysmal. Let's be honest. So was last year a fluke? Was his first 6-7 years just bad circumstance? Is it somewhere in the middle? I think if you're Seattle, the goal should be closer to the right side of the screen version of Darnold than the left. If you're tilting in that direction, maybe you're 63, 64%, 25 touchdowns to 10 to 13 interceptions, 2-to-1 ratio, passer rating in the 90s. I think you would live with that type of output out of Sam Darnold this season. I like that he reunites with Clint Kubiak. He was on the 49ers staff when he was Purdy's backup a couple of years ago. And one thing I think is clear with Sam Darnold is the offensive line play is going to be important. If he's under pressure, especially interior pressure, he kind of can go into pumpkin mode and just throw the ball up for grabs, take a bunch of sacks. So if the offensive line can hold up, I think Sam will be good. If not, it could be a little wonky, and that right there could be like, well, we're actually more of a 7-win team than a 10-win team. So going to be fascinating to watch. I think the fit with the OC and the scheme is a good one, and obviously they're hoping to be able to run the football with Charbonnet and Walker as well. I like the two notable defensive additions. You bring in a veteran, Demarcus Lawrence, to help that pass rush. He's an excellent run-setting edge defender as well. Brings a leadership element to this team coming over from Dallas. Also, Nick Manwari, it's probably a bit of a work in progress, but the athletic traits are off the chart. So I'm excited to see how Mike Macdonald deploys him. Obviously, a guy who coached what's his name in Baltimore for many years. Kyle Hamilton, thank you very much, producer Colin. If he can kind of just put him in different spots, kind of a joker in that secondary, then I think that could take the Steelers to the next level. And I trust Mike Macdonald to have the defense right. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 5 unit, but he's a smart guy. He's going to get creative. The defense will be good. It's just, what version of Sam Darnold are we getting? Are we getting Pumpkin Sam? Are we getting Elite Sam? Is it somewhere in the middle? I think it's somewhere in the middle, but again, which side is it closer? Is it closer to the good? Is it closer to the bad? We're going to find out this season what Sam Darnold's really all about. Are you guys buying or selling Sam Darnold? Type B for buy or S for sell. I'm kind of in a soft buy. I don't think it's as good of a situation as he had in Minnesota, but I think it's a good enough one where he'll at least be productive compared to, his bad years of his career. All right, 2 more teams to break down, but first, today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. We all make decisions every single day, just like you and I, but on Prize Picks, those decisions, if you get them right, you can get paid. Don't miss on any of the excitement this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is finally here, and I'm fired up for week 1. I made some money over the college football weekend. Shout out to my guy Josh Hoover and the boys. And now I'm ready for the big boys to get going. It's very easy to play Prize Picks, as you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Turn $10 into $20,000 with certain Prize Picks lineups. Take advantage of the gimme. Dak Prescott more than half a passing yards right there. Use it. Couple days left. Do not let that clock run out. I paired that with DeAndre Swift, more than 68.5 rushing and receiving combined yards. I like that number to hit for Swift. $20 entry to win $60. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Okay. Is it a do or die season in Arizona? I think for one guy in particular it is, but you could argue it is for the 3 most important people in the organization. That, of course, is the quarterback Kyler Murray, the head coach Jonathan Gannon, and the general manager Monty Ossenfort. Those latter 2 guys entering year 3. Kyler, I think it's year 7. It's like, he's made the playoffs once in 6 years. I know there was an ACL tear in there. The team kind of sucked early on, but as good of a player as he is, he's inconsistent, and they haven't done a ton of winning. So kind of feels like, and I've said this a couple times throughout the offseason, if they're like a 7 or 8 win team and he doesn't show more consistency and take a big step forward, I think he's a prime trade candidate next offseason. I could see them pivoting off of him. And I think the organization, I think they like Gannon and Ossenfort. I've been impressed too. I think Ossenfort's drafted well. I think Gannon has been a better head coach than I would have expected. That first year he got there, everybody was like, oh, this is going to be a joke. And they were scrappy. And then last year they were 8-9, and they were like 4 or 5 plays away from being a playoff team. So there's talent there. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl contender, but the goal should be playoffs for Arizona. I think you need a big breakout from Marvin Harrison Jr., who showed some good things. I wouldn't say quite lived up to being that number 4 pick, but easily should be a 1,000-yard guy this year. Him and Kyler have been working on that connection, so I expect that to take off. He's added some weight as well, which should help in press man coverage situations. Defensively, they've kind of slowly just built this thing up. You get Josh Sweat. I like the veteran addition of Calais Campbell just from a leadership standpoint. Dalvin Tomlinson's a solid player. I like Will Johnson. Getting him in the 2nd round was great value. There's long-term questions about that knee, but I think in the short term, for sure, he's going to be a very, very good young corner. And again, can Kyler find another level, or is this just who he is, where he's good, but he's too inconsistent to be great, right? That's the question. There's always going to be some challenges with him as your quarterback. You can't just do a conventional drop-back passing game constantly. He can obviously throw from the pocket, but throwing over the middle can be challenging because he's shorter. You got to lean into his playmaking. I think he's a good enough player to be a playoff quarterback, but we've only seen it once. So big year for Kyler. He's a name to watch next offseason if Arizona disappoints. And then lastly, the team who brought up the rear, but the team that's also been largely the face of this division for the last 6 or 7 years, the San Francisco 49ers. Are they going to bounce back? They missed the playoffs for the first time since 2020 last year. Listen, they've leaned into Brock Purdy. Like, he's their guy. They paid him $53 million per year, bunch of guaranteed money. They are betting on him being the engine to the offense. Like, this is Kyle Shanahan telling you, hey, it's my system, but he knows how to run my system the way I want him to run it. And for the most part, I would agree with Shanahan that he has done that well. But I also think we saw last year that when key players around him got hurt, he still played well, wasn't as efficient though. Didn't make the big plays in the key spots like he had in previous years. So, this is a big year for Brock to prove that that investment was worthwhile. And guess what? The injuries are piling up again. Brandon Aiyuk's on short-term IR. Jacob Cowing. Jauan Jennings, it sounds like he could be making his way back. Was that a phantom calf injury? Keep an eye on that this week. Jordan Watkins has been banged up with an ankle. Demarcus Robinson is suspended the first few games due to a DUI situation. So we'll see who they're trotting out there at receiver the first few weeks of the season. One key thing for this team, and we've known it to be true since he's been here, is Christian McCaffrey. When he's healthy, they're one of the best offenses in the league. He's had a healthy training camp by all accounts. Last year he was dealing with that Achilles tendonitis situation. That was scary. We all just kind of expected that thing to pop, but it sounds like he's good to go. And when he's healthy, this team is tough to beat. He is the key offensively. I know they just paid Brock Purdy, and he's under a lot of pressure, but if McCaffrey's getting 20 touches per game and they're effective touches in the run and pass game, Brock Purdy can just go into distributor mode because that's when he's at his best. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. Just, deliver the ball, throw it where it's supposed to, play on time, on accuracy, with accuracy. And every once in a while we needed to do that, but I thought he did a little too much of that last year, and it got him into trouble sometimes. They invested heavily in the D-line in the draft in particular. They also added Bryce Huff, but Kyren Williams, CJ West, Alfred Collins, all picked in the first 4 rounds. Kyren, their first-round pick, who missed a lot of camp. Sounds like he's making his way back, so we'll see if he's ready to go week 1. But a lot of young guys on that defensive line. And my big question for this team is the secondary. You've got Diamador Lenore. I don't love their safety room. Their other corners leave a lot to be desired. I like the Robert Saleh. You bring him back. He should help kind of stem some gaps with some holes on this defense. The linebacker position group should be fine with Fred Warner carrying the load there, but the front is young and the secondary is unproven. So I think you're going to need the offense to be one of the best in the league, especially early in the year as this defense gets its legs underneath it. So who do you got? Who wins the NFC West? LAR for the Rams, ARI for the Cardinals, SCA for the Seahawks, or SF for the 49ers? I do think it's one of the most wide open divisions in the NFL. I am reluctantly going to pick the 49ers because I don't know what's going on with the Stafford situation. Now, the Niners are already banged up, but it doesn't sound like catastrophic injuries. Hopefully, Aiyuk gets back by the middle of the year. With McCaffrey healthy, they should be one of the best offenses in the league. I'll say the Rams are in a wild card spot. I'm just guessing Stafford's going to miss a few games here and there, and the Cardinals and Seahawks just miss out. I could see all 4 of these teams being like between 7 or 8 wins and like 11 wins, just similar to last year where it's kind of all mucked up. But Niners win the division, Rams get a wild card berth, Seattle and Arizona don't make the playoffs. There you have it. That's our NFC West preview. We will be back with another division soon. I think we're going to do the AFC East next, so be on the lookout for that. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you then.